Alright guys, welcome back to VALORANT News. Roster drama continuing over the last 24 hours with the Sacy leaving Sentinels rumour still going around. Some of the Sentinels boys seemingly responding to the situation as well, but also 100 Thieves. Rumour has it trials might be starting to go down over there, as in changes will be made. Over the last couple of weeks we've heard rumours of multiple sources that yes, basically every single team is going to make some sort of moves. How widespread will those moves be? Very much interested in your thoughts in the comments. Hit the like button if you enjoy. Subscribe if you're new as always. I would greatly appreciate it. Plenty to talk about today. Firstly, on the Ascension side, we've got the EMEA stuff still going on. This was a crazy series here between Apex and Barca. This was another totally winnable series, right? Apex, one of the hot favourites, of course, for this tournament, right, with Sol, Cass and Avova, those names that you most certainly will know from the last couple of years of EMEA Valorant, and also Kajak as well, really solid player here on the Neon, very highly rated player too on the Ascension side. They win game one though, Barca, 13-10. They lose the game to 13-5, and then the Haven, I mean, this is a scoreboard for the ages, isn't it, right? To go down 11-1 at the half on Haven, then win all these rounds in a row, be on the position to either get to overtime at least, or send it to potentially win the series right then and there, to lose the final couple of rounds is, that is probably the most painful way to lose, isn't it, right? I mean, to fake a comeback on that extreme is tough for those guys. These, in the end, were the four teams that qualified. Now, there was lots of drama here because this team, Job Life, I will say as well, even the format here, I would say, is somewhat questionable because Ultimate, 2-2 records, 5-5 map count, plus 5 round count. Job Life, 2-2 record, 5-5 map count, plus 4 round count. So their tournament is literally over because they won one less round than they could have done. And the big drama was their final series yesterday. They had lots of problems with a player disconnecting from the server, and eventually they lost on the Haven 13-10. But all they needed, look at all these rounds there, Mal's one in a row, because, I think one of their guys was disconnecting anyway. It was a big, I think it was Jas, wasn't it? He was disconnecting a lot. And it was causing all sorts of problems. There was some debate on whether the rules should have allowed them to use a substitute or not. And, if they'd have won one more round or 2 more rounds or whatever, they would have qualified for the playoffs. And yeah, it's just the drama on that is very frustrating, I'm not going to lie, to witness. So Mouse eventually get the job done there. And yeah, those Job Life boys don't quite make it. I also do wonder whether this is really the best format, right? I mean, when we're seeing somebody advance into the playoffs by one singular round, you got to wonder whether maybe, even if it's just 2-2 and they're tied on maps, you might want to do a decider best of one. I mean, that might be a better way to do it. But in the end, the playoffs are coming up, and these are the 4 teams that are going to be there. So Apex, of course, are going to be one of the notable teams here, but one of these guys will advance all the way through to the EMEA region for next season. Now, lots of drama going down about this over the last couple of days, so I just wanted to kind of touch on it. I'm not going to go through all the details here, but it was, just one of those Valorant moments, really. So Katsumi kind of, put this on her relationship with Kesnit over the last couple of days, and then she tweeted this out, talking about how she's officially quit Valorant weeks ago, but there's lots of drama going on here. So, I don't really want to get into the weeds of it. You guys can feel free to read it if you want. The TLDR basically is, she was in a relationship with Bob, and it's always, when you've got teammates end up in relationships together, or let's say a coach of a team and a relationship with a player, this type of stuff is usually never going to end well. And that's exactly what we're seeing here. So, anyway, Katsumi was tweeting about the situation in that relationship. Bob was then tweeting about that relationship as well, and saying that basically she cheated on Bob with her current partner, and, all these tweets were getting all sorts of interactions, as you might expect. It was blurred up last night. And then Bob then continued with this statement talking about the Katsumi situation. Kesnet then comes back with his point of view. So I'm not going to lie, it's an absolute mess. It's just one of those things that, does this need to be public? Does it need to be on the internet? Does it need to be all over Twitter? Can this stuff not be handled behind closed doors? Not with 500,000 people reading all these tweets? I just don't see the point and why it helps anyone. But I mean, people are going to eat it up because it's social media. That is what it is. But quickly on G2 Gozen, I guess, definitely relevant to that discussion. They've been invited to the Red Bull home grounds, or at least the international play-ins for that, which is pretty exciting stuff. We know that in the off-season, you usually will get to see a lot of these teams in action. Whether that that G2 roster is going to be the same as it currently is? That is, of course, another question as well, because they didn't quite get the result at Champions they would have wanted. Sagetsu from Na'Vi, he's going to be a restricted free agent as well, so he's still under contract. We've seen this with quite a few guys now as well from that team. Obviously, we know that Ardis is also looking for opportunities elsewhere as well. We'll talk about Ardis a bit more here in a second, but let's talk about the Sacy situation again, because the rumour has it over the last couple of days, Sacy will not be re-signing with Sentinels. He's not going to stay on that team. I think we've been able to put 2 and 2 together on this for quite some time now, and it's been a big rumour going around for weeks that, yeah, Sacy's not going to be staying. Bruno Popoleri, of course, talked about it yesterday. Now, Rocket Bullets, of course, as a result of this, was getting his own back right, because this guy was getting clowned for his spreadsheet over the last couple of days, and look, just getting one thing right, and it's not even necessarily right yet, we don't have the confirmation or anything of this Sacy stuff, it's obviously still a rumour, but yeah, Rocket says, I'm only guessing, what are you guys talking about? I've nailed this one, because now Bruno and others are talking about it as well, and it's okay, look, we'll see what time says on that. I will say, fair enough, let's look at his spreadsheet again, because he put another quick update out yesterday. The interesting thing, I guess, is we've got Verno increasing likelihood on NRG. That should come as no surprise, as we talked about yesterday. The narrate situation, though, is pretty interesting, right? So he's got narrate here as a rumour for both 100T, and we saw the rumour on 100T because narrate literally leaked his DMs with the vice president of esports over at 100 Thieves. So that was pretty obvious. But there's also been, linking, shall we say, with narrate to Sentinels as well, which would be very interesting, I've got to say, if he was to join that team, and it would make a bit of sense as well. So there's that to be said. There's also the Loud situation, right, with reports of financial difficulties coming through. There was another kind of set of reporting over the last couple of days that Cowan, Zan, and I think Les and maybe one other are looking to be potentially sold from the team. So I don't think that Loud team is going to look the same next year, and I don't think it's going to be anywhere near as good, according to rumours, as it has been over the last couple of years. Mazzino, of course, is now inactive on that Leviathan team. There's, of course, been questions as to where, is Sacy going to go there or whatever. Probably Mazzino, part of the reason why is due to, the drama that he's been involved in behind the scenes over the last couple of months. But, like a Sentinels tweet out yesterday to 1 million views, good things don't last forever. And presumably this may be at least semi-related, probably rather related, to the Sacy situation as we currently understand it, right? So, yeah, that's what they say. Tens then replies and says, why did you cut me? I gave you everything. As does Zekken here as well, and also as does Zelsis in the replies in addition, right? So, we saw this in a few of the Sentinels boys. John QT replied as well, and, of course, Curry's also in the replies. So, it's just interesting, isn't it, to see this from Ten, Zekken, and Zelsis, 3 players that, are guaranteed to stay. You never really know. But with Sentinels, there's just no way, like, in my opinion, that Zelsis should be going anywhere, Zekken should be going anywhere, Ten should be going anywhere. And John QT, of course, was, one of the rookies of the year, no doubt about it, coming into the league on Sentinels as the in-game leader. The only player in my mind that was ever up for discussion really on Sentinels was probably Sacy, and that's now potentially what we're seeing. I'll share what Ardis had to say on this as well, because as always, he's got an entertaining perspective, talking about the possibility of Sacy to live, what it would mean like for roles, and some of these other questions too.
Bro, who does Mazzino join the chat? In America, I'm seeing Sentinels are kicking like, what's his name? Gustavo. Gustavo's gone. Apparently Gustavo's joining Lev, which I think is a terrible career move. I mean, like a terrible move, in my opinion. They're kicking their best player in Mazzino, who's been unbelievable in the past few fucking... they're kicking Mazzino, their best player, Overwatch. They're kicking Overwatch for Sacy, who's in, like, the worst shape I've seen Sacy since, like, the last 4 years. There's a lot of problems going on that I just don't understand. I think Mazzino getting kicked for Sacy might be the biggest downgrade ever. And if they kick this guy, I promise you they're not making a LAN. I promise you. After watching Lev, this guy is the only guy who goes in chat. The only guy who will go in first and die chat. The only guy in the team, bro. If they kick Tex, everyone will sit there looking at each other. Oh, you go in first. Aspas, you go in, bro. Oh, no. Sacy, you go in, Sacy. Go on, Sacy, you go in. Like, bro, I swear to God, if they kick this guy, they will be baiting each other the whole of next year, bro. I promise you, chat. I promise you, bro. I just don't understand.
The NRG situation is quite interesting. Ethan actually tweeted this yesterday. NRG reunion, glimpse of next year's lineup, playing with 2023 VCT champ at Demon 1. Now, Chet in the reply says respect the bait, and I will quickly mention that Chet the other day said on stream that Demon 1 ain't going to be staying on this NRG roster, but Ethan's still playing with Demon 1, and he says glimpse of next year's lineup or whatever. So it doesn't, like, I don't know, if you're NRG, if you're FNS, you're bringing in like maybe Verno, Bonkar's the head coach. I guess Bonkar might have some decision making there. FNS will have some decision to be made. Demon 1 is still such a talented player with very high upside. It seems not exactly nonsensical, because I could see why, but it would seem a strange decision to get rid of him, even if there are behind the scenes difficulties of working with him, or whatever you want to say. Of course, as we said before, if you can get maybe Durka, then maybe you do that, and send Demon 1 the other way, or something that's not out of the realms of possibility. This may have been like a troll from Asuna, because we know how this guy is. When he says something on stream, you've got to always take it with a pinch of salt. But he did mention on stream that, soon 100 tier are going to be doing some sort of trials. There have been rumours their team's going to change, and I feel like they will change. I feel like they should change. What that change is, it's a question. We talked about it the other day, if Narrator's potentially coming in. I'm looking at that team. I'm keeping Boostio, I think, as the in-game leader. I'm keeping Cryo. I'm keeping Bang. I think that would be my three that I would keep. The other two, Asuna and EU, I think you can have a debate on those two. And, Asuna's talking about it. Of course, if Asuna's talking about it and he's actually being, legit with what he says here and they are trialing soon, you'd think he'd be safe, otherwise why'd he be talking about it? But it's likely that he was just trolling, and either there are no trials or he is not aware of the trials that are potentially ongoing in that situation. But very much interested to your thoughts on all of this stuff in the comment section below. Hit the like button if you enjoyed. Subscribe if you're new. Take care, and I'll see you next time.